After the rain passed over this morning, it's a gorgeous night at McKeon Park for some baseball in Hyannis, as the Harbor Hawks are set to complete a home-and-home with the Orleans Firebirds. Dating back to last night out at Eldridge Park, Orleans came into that contest taking the first two, but game number 3 was a charm going in favor of the Harbor Hawks. A 2-0 victory out in Orleans, capped off by a Hunter Goodman 2-run blast in the top of the ninth after 8 scoreless innings from 2 different pitchers. Cole Pletka for 4 scoreless, Patrick Fredrickson for 4 scoreless, before Trevor DeLate came on to pick up his first save of the summer. Now, looking forward to today, Orleans, a team that has had its offense struggle in recent days. In fact, they've scored 5 or more runs just once in their last 7 games. So a team with a little bit of lackluster power. They put together gritty at-bats, but they're looking to really score some runs in bunches today against the Hyannis staff that's starting to find their way back on track a little bit, as they've been in 2 different pitchers' duels in the last 2 nights. Today, Connor Ash for Hyannis looks to make it a 3rd pitchers' duel. He'll be making his 7th appearance, 3rd start for Hyannis in 2019, taking on Jared Schuster of Wake Forest. Now, Schuster on the season set to make his 5th appearance and 5th start for the Firebirds, and he has been an absolute buzzsaw for the Firebirds starting pitching. Last outing, he's coming off a 5-inning, 1-hit appearance against the Whitey Red Sox back on July the 6th. So Ash, a high strikeout guy, Schuster, a guy who just knows how to get guys out, are set to toe at it today on the slab from McKeon Park. It's the Harbor Hawks and the Firebirds on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. With that, we welcome you inside the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Lyle Goldstein, Brennan Howe here with you. And Brennan, just dating back to last night, these 2 teams squared off just over 24 hours ago. And boy, did they put on an absolute pitcher's duel, both sides, to be fair. We talked about Pletka, Fredrickson last night and in the opener, but give credit to Orleans, too, because they battled and battled right up until the 9th inning.
And it was a battle till the end, and Hunter Goodman eventually got the last laugh for Hyannis late in the ballgame last night. But in order for Hyannis to continue this hot stretch tonight, they're going to need to put one together to try and rack up some wins at the bottom of the West Division. They've got a long way to try and work themselves back. The last night, certainly a good start, and a welcomed, fresh pitching performance from Cole Pletka, Patrick Fredrickson, and Trevor DeLate, who picked up the save.
To further recap last night, Cole Pletka, 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 5. Then Patrick Fredrickson came into the game. He threw 4 innings, gave up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, struck out 5. The best outing the Minnesota right-handers put together all summer. He was absolutely dazzling. And finally, after the Goodman 2-run blast in the top of the 9th, the lefty Trevor DeLate out of Maine came on for his 2nd appearance, first out of the bullpen with Hyannis, and closed it out after 1 inning. He gave up no hits, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 1. But again, the offense was silent from both sides through 8 innings of play, but Hunter Goodman, a 2-run blast on a 1-1 count in the top of the 9th, gave the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all the cushion they needed. Now tonight, once again, Connor Ash taking the mound. He'll be making his 7th appearance, 3rd start, 2nd start against the Firebirds, where he had an up-and-down go of it last time at Eldridge Park. So, Brendan, what is he looking for today to kind of turn things around against Orleans?
Well, he's a high strikeout guy, and we know that. He's 6th in the entire Cape Cod League in punch-outs so far in 2019. So for him to try and rack up some more against this Firebirds lineup that struggled a bit last night, it's just about keeping the ball down in the zone and inducing some soft contact. There was a lot of that last night, and that was the biggest reason why Pletka and Fredrickson were able to combine for 8 shutout innings.
Ash, in his last appearance, came out of the bullpen in what was part of a doubleheader win in the 2nd game against the Bourne Braves back last Saturday, where Ash went an inning and a third, gave up 6 hits, 5 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. So he's looking to build on that today. But in terms of building, Brendan, the offense for Hyannis, I mean, this team was scorching for a few game stretch. As a matter of fact, they had scored 29 runs in their previous 3 games, or rather, we should rephrase it. They have 5 runs in their last 3 games. The previous 3 games before that, they'd scored 29 runs in 3 contests as a whole. And if you look at their previous 6 games after the last 3 where they've scored 5 runs, so dating back before, so the 3 games they had, Orleans, of course, last night, the 2-0 loss. Then you look at the Bourne, or 2-0 win, the 4-2 loss against Bourne, and the 8-1 defeat against Falmouth. After that, dating back 6 games prior, they had scored 4 or more runs in each of those contests, but they've been a little bit up and down since then. So against an Orleans staff that is really, really good from the pitching side of things, what do they have to look to do to bounce back today?
I think the Bats knew that they were on the right track, and they were on a hot streak. So I think they got a little bit too over aggressive. We talk about working yourself into good hitters counts and staying in there at the plate with 2 strikes and battling. But I think the Bats got just a little bit over antsy, and they were a little too aggressive going after the first pitch and not seeing enough fastballs later on in the count. So I think for the Bats, in order to get back on track, to have to see some more pitches later on in the count and work this pitch count up for Schuster tonight.
It's 5:54 p.m. in Hyannis. National anthem about to get set underway as we'll take a break here on the broadcast. But join us in just a couple minutes. First pitch and lineups coming up on the other side of the break. It's Hyannis and Orleans for the final time this season when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back at McKeon Park in Hyannis, Connor Ash getting loose on the mound as the Harbor Hawks and Orleans Firebirds are set to go at it the final time this season, each team partaking in their 27th of 44 games this season. Orleans on the road against Hyannis, and they're going to send out a lineup against Connor Ash that looks fairly similar to last night, with 7 starters returning into the lineup tonight. Zach Kokoska hitting from the leadoff spot, the Kansas State left fielder. He'll be followed by Zach Britton back in the 2 spot, Max Troiani hitting third, followed by Ray Gill in the cleanup spot. Trevin Esquera, the Loyola Marymount first baseman, hitting 5th tonight, and he'll be followed by Tanner Murray, Eddie McCabe, Rom Emery behind the plate, and Shea Whitcomb rounding out the 9. So throw goes down to second from catcher Hunter Goodman. Ash will get the ball back on top of the mound, and we're just about set to get underway. Hyannis tonight, as it is Cape Cod Friday here, are in their all-red uniforms with white lettering, as well as their home white pants with the blue trim and blue pinstripes, and the camouflage hats with the Cape Cod logo up on the top. Ash gets the sign. He rocks and fires the first pitch to Kokoska. Fastball outside, we're underway. 6:01 the first pitch time from McKeon Park. And right as it was sunny and beautiful about 10 minutes ago, some long gray clouds have started to come over the ballpark. Ash will get the sign. Now comes home with the next offering. Fastball in the dirt. 2 balls, no strike to the Kansas State left fielder, Zach Kokoska. Orleans in their road white uniforms, although with the red sleeves and Orleans logo on the arm, as well as red lettering on the jerseys, white pants with the red trim, and black helmets with the Orleans logo on the top. 2-0 from Ash. Fastball hits the zone, and the count moves to 2-1. So 79 degrees here in Hyannis. But again, some dark clouds coming across the harbor. Connor Ash, the right-hander out of Missouri, fires home. Line drive right at the second baseman. Servideo makes the catch. There's 1 away. So Connor Ash records the first out of the night as Kokoska squares one up to the right side, but right at the Ole Miss Rebel Servideo. That'll bring up Zach Britton, Louisville right fielder. Hyannis defense tonight, left to right in the outfield, Trevor Hoover, Bryce Teodosio, and Rowdy Jordan. As Connor Ash throws his hands over his head, now will come set at the belt from the windup, working from the middle of the mound. First pitch, fastball just low, it's 1-0. And from left to right in the infield, Jared DeSantolo back at third base, Jordan Westberg, Anthony Servideo, and Ian Fair, with Hunter Goodman behind the plate and the Missouri righty Connor Ash back on the mound. Now the 1-0, fly ball, hooking foul to the left side. That'll get out of play. So Hyannis coming off a 2-0 victory last night. Their pitching staff for the first time all summer combined for a shutout. They were the last team on the Cape to accomplish that feat. Ash ready, the 1-1. Just misses outside. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count goes. Britton last night 0 for 4. He comes into the day hitting .245. Working from the left side. One of just 2 natural left-handed hitters for Orleans tonight. The righty Ash fires home. Looping fly ball on the infield. Servideo to his left, and he makes the catch. So 2 away. Servideo responsible for both 2 outs recorded. And like clockwork, Connor Ash has retired the first 2 hitters in the Firebirds lineup.
And that's the kind of soft contact that Ash was going to have to try and induce tonight. Jam Britton on the inside part of the bat. Sounded like he might have even chipped it. But a soft liner right to Servideo at second base, no problem. He's made the first couple of plays to start off the ball game.
Now Max Troiani, the hitter. He had a 3-hit day last night for Orleans. In fact, he had half their hits. Ash from the windup deals home, breaking ball up high. 3 for 4 for Troiani. His average has gone back up to .333 on the season. For Cape Cod ranks, that ranks 7th. Ash ready, the 1-0 on the way. Swing and a miss from Troiani, it's 1-1. So the Firebirds 6 hits last night. They did not record an extra base hit. Troiani 3 singles. In fact, that's been the story of his summer. Still just 1 extra base hit to his name this season as he watches a fastball low. Firebirds come into the game 13-11-2. They're 5-5-2 on the road. Hyannis 6-19-1. They're 4-9 at home. Connor Ash, the right-hander out of Missouri, gets set, fires the 2-1. That'll miss low. 3 balls, 1 strike. For Ash, the 5'11", 191-pound right-hander, 4-pitch arsenal. Fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. That fastball will sit in the low 90s. But he comes into the day 6th in the league in strikeouts. 3-1. Swing and a weak wave and a miss from Troiani. The count moves to 3-2 with 2 down. 0-0 in the top of the first from Orleans, but it is getting darker and darker here at McKeon Park as more gray clouds are starting to roll over above. Connor Ash on top of the mound, working from the windup. The right-hander puts the glove to the face, now deals the payoff pitch. Up high, and he loses Troiani. So Max works it to a full count, but induces the first walk of the day, and the first Orleans runner is aboard here in the top of the first. Ray Gill now stepping to the right side of the plate. He'll be hitting from the right side. In fact, Orleans has 6 natural righties in the lineup. Again, the 2 lefties with Kokoska and Britton at the top. But Trevin Esquera, a switch hitter for the Firebirds ball club. Ash will now work from the stretch, fires home. In the dirt, smothered by Goodman. And it's 1-0 to the hitter Ray Gill, who was inches away from a home run the opposite way last night. But it just hooked foul. And as a result, it kept the Firebirds off the board and allowed Hyannis to go out to that 2-0 lead in the 9th and ultimately take the ball game by that score. So Ash, the stretch, comes home. Swing and a miss from Ray Gill, and the count moves to 1-1. So Kelly Nicholson's ball club sits at 3rd place in the East Division. 3 points behind YD and Chatham, who are tied for 1st. But additionally with that, Kelly Nicholson in search of his 350th regular season win as an Orleans manager. Ash fires over first, back with a head-first dive, the runner Troiani. So Nicholson in his 15th season as the Firebirds head coach. 349 wins to this point. He was in search of 350 last night, just wasn't quite to be. And it's 0-0 in the top of the first with his Firebird squad looking to strike early. Troiani, the runner, getting a fair lead, held on by Ian Fair. Pitch from Ash, swing and a miss with a heater, and it's 1-2. So Ash got Kokoska to line out to Servideo at 2nd, then got Britton to pop up to 2nd after issuing the full count walk to Troiani. Max the lead at first. Gill flips the bat at the zone a couple times, now into his stance, knees slightly bent. 1-2 from Ash. Swing and a miss, he got him. First strikeout of the night for the right-hander Connor Ash, and that'll do it for the Firebirds in the top of the first. So a 0 goes up on the board for Orleans, and Hyannis will get their first licks of the night on the other side of the break. For the Firebirds, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the first when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back from McKeon Park in the bottom of the first, it's 0-0 the score, with the left-hander Jared Schuster towing the slab for his 5th start of the summer. Jordan Westberg leading off for Hyannis, as the boys who are usually in blue and orange sport the red jerseys as Westberg watches a fastball high. It's 1-0. Hyannis lineup tonight as Westberg leads off. He'll be followed by Trevor Hover, Hunter Goodman, Jared DeSanilo in the cleanup spot. As Schuster gets the sign, rocks and deals out of the windup. Fastball good for a strike, and it's 1-1. After DeSanilo, it'll be Ian Fair hitting 5th, Brooks Carlson in the 6th spot, and the final third of the order, Rowdy Jordan, Anthony Servideo, and Bryce Teodosio. 1-1. Fastball in. Westberg lifts the arms, and it's 2-1. So Jordan comes into the day hitting .414. He's 0 for his last 10, but some natural regression was about expected. 2-1 from Schuster. Fastball low, 3 balls, 1 strike. Westberg was 12 for his first 20 on the Cape. 5 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. And he won Cape Cod Player of the Week as a result. Now the 3-1. Down low, and Westberg draws a 5-pitch walk. So 1 batter, 1 man aboard for Hyannis in the bottom of the first, as Westberg loses the ankle guard and the elbow guard, trots down to first base, and it'll segue things to left-handed hitting Trevor Hover. So Hover last night 0-3 with a walk. He also scored on that Goodman 2-run bomb. Orleans defense tonight, left to right in the outfield, Zach Kokoska, Max Troiani, Zach Britton. And in the infield, same way, McCabe, Murray, Whitcomb, and Escara. Pitch to Hover up high, it's 1-0. So Schuster coming off an absolutely dazzling start for the Firebirds. Went 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts versus YD. Pitch to Hover. Fastball for a called strike at the top of the zone, and the count will level. In that contest, however, the Firebirds lost 4-0 back on July the 6th. So Schuster didn't receive a decision. But that doesn't change how effective he's been for Kelly Nicholson's ball club this summer. Stretchin fires over to first, Westberg back standing up. On the season, Schuster 18 innings coming into the start. An ERA at a minuscule 1.00. 4 walks to 18 strikeouts. He has been an absolute buzzsaw. 1-1. Swing and a miss from Hover at an off-speed. Count moves to 1-2. So Schuster, the lefty out of Wake Forest, hails from New Bedford, Massachusetts, with a lot of his family in attendance tonight. The lefty throws a fastball in the high 80s to low 90s. Will also mix up a changeup and a curve. 1-2 to Trevor Hover. Down low, and the count evens at 2-2. So there's no doubt that Hover walks a lot. He comes into the game first in the Cape League in base on balls at 19. Caden Polkovich at Chatham sits right behind him at 18. And those two will be squaring off tomorrow for the first part of a home and home. 2-2. Outside, and the count runs full. So Hyannis in their 4th and final matchup of the summer with Orleans tonight. The 2nd of 2 at McKeon Park. And starting tomorrow, they'll start a home and home to end the season with the Chatham Anglers. 3-2 to Hover. Swing and a fly ball foul down the left field line out of play. So Hover's going to step out of the box to adjust the batting gloves. Westberg back to first. But once again, Trevor Hover leading the Cape in walks. And for Hyannis and Chatham, they'll play here at McKeon Park tomorrow and out at Veterans Field on Sunday night. 3-2. Swing and a ground ball over to the first baseman. Escara moves to his right, fires to second for 1. No relay throw to first, and it'll be a 3-6 fielder's choice. So Hover tapped one to the right side. Escara came off the bag, moving to his right. Had some momentum going towards second as he flipped to Tanner Murray for the force out. But as he came off the bag, Schuster couldn't get over to cover in time. And Hover's safe as he's aboard with 1 out, bringing up Hunter Goodman. So Goodman last night 2 for 3, that home run, of course. Pitch, swinging a fly ball out to deep center field. Troiani backtracking, turning the shoulders, and he makes the catch above his head. Hover races back to first base. But Hunter Goodman, a line drive shot out to deep center. It sent Troiani back immediately. He didn't quite read it perfectly off the bat as he got a late jump. But he turned his right shoulder once, then his left shoulder, and made the catch backpedaling over his head for the second out. So Goodman retired. Still a runner on first with 2 outs. 0-0 the score, and it'll bring up Jared DeSantolo. Jared yesterday 0 for 2, surprisingly pulled early from the game. He was replaced by Ian Fair, who stands on deck. A lefty-lefty matchup. So Southpaw Schuster fires home, swing and a miss. DeSantolo got the start at first base yesterday. Third, his more natural position. And he's back over at the number 5 spot today with Fair playing first. They make up the corner infield for Hyannis. But DeSantolo still putting together a phenomenal summer. 0-1. Swing and a miss, it's 0-2. He went 0 for 2 before he was pulled from the game. Because of it, it ends a 7-game hitting streak for DeSantolo, as well as an 11-game on-base streak. But once again, still absolutely racking up hits on Cape Cod. 0-2, slapped the other way, foul off the screen. 353 is average coming into tonight. That sits only behind Wyatt Young in second place at 372 for YD. And Zach DeLoach, boy, has he been hot since that Hyannis game. He's hitting .420. He's 29 for 69 with 4 bombs now. Now the 0-2 to DeSantolo. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Good paint job from the left-hander Jared Schuster to freeze DeSantolo. And that ends the bottom of the first. So Orleans nothing in the top of the first. Hyannis nothing in the bottom of the first. For the Harbor Hawks in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. We'll go to the top of the second when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Trevin Esquera, Tanner Murray, and Eddie McCabe, the three to come to the plate for Orleans in the top of the second, with the righty Connor Ash back on the mound, already working 1 scoreless frame against the Firebirds. Ash comes set from the windup, delivers the first pitch, swinging a foul off the front foot of the hitter Trevin Esquera. Esquera comes into the day hitting .214. No home runs, no RBIs, didn't get an appearance in last night's contest, where Hyannis once again emerged victorious 2-0. So Ash takes a loop around the mound, now steps back on top the rubber. Infield playing straight up. Outfield more of the same, as Ash gets the sign, will fire home. Down low, way in the dirt, up and over the glove of Goodman and off the screen to even the count. So for Connor Ash, his 3rd time facing the Firebirds this summer. His 2nd start against the Orleans Ball Club. The 1st start against Orleans home. Fires home, swing and a miss, off speed, and the count moves to 1-2. He's seen the Firebirds at home once. In that appearance, he threw an inning of scoreless ball. As he gazes down the hitter, Esquera with a 1-2 count. Here comes the offering. Up high, and the count runs to 2 balls, 2 strikes. So an inning of scoreless relief the last time against Orleans. Or rather, the last time he pitched at home against Orleans. He's got a scoreless inning so far. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Buries the breaking ball, as that's the first out of the top of the second frame, as Ascara strikes out to make it the second of the night for Connor Ash. So he really put that off-speed pitch low in the dirt. It got Ascara chasing. That brings up Tanner Murray, who's looking to build off an 0-for-4 night last night. So looking to turn things around against Ash and Hyannis. So Murray, the right-handed hitting shortstop out of UC Davis. Ash is going to get the sign as Murray flips the bat toward the mound a couple times. Now the offering. Breaking ball drops in, a called strike. So coming into tonight's start, Connor Ash had 25 strikeouts. He now sits at 27, which entering the day would have been sitting in 4th place. A 1. Breaking ball away. A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Or at least it would have been tied for 4th. Sam Thorson sits at 28 for Hyannis. Although he, of course, has left for the summer. Ash gets the sign, ready to go with the 1-1. Here it comes. Swing and a high pop-up on the infield right side. This sends Servideo back, now cruising in and to his left a couple steps, and he makes the grab for the second out. So he's been busy through the first inning and 2/3 on defense. He's recorded 4 putouts by himself already, or 3 putouts by himself already. Caught a line out to begin the game, and now 2 pop-ups. And now that'll bring up Eddie McCabe, the Georgetown third baseman. So Ash has had it working so far. He takes a long look up on top of the mound, takes a breath, now comes home. Fastball, good at the knees, strike 1. McCabe 2-for-4 last night. So him and Troiani combining for 5 of the 6 hits for the Firebirds. Of course, all singles. Pitch, fastball away, it's 1-1. For McCabe, a single in the second, a single in the third. Both times he was stranded in scoring position. So Orleans failed to bring across a run last night. 0-0 in the top of the second with 2 away. 1-1 from Connor Ash. Fastball up high, it's 2-1. Now the lights have turned on here at McKeon Park as it was getting so dark right around 6 o'clock. They've put some extra brightness out on the field. Still some dark clouds sitting above McKeon Park. A slight breeze coming across, but no movement from the American flag in right center. 2-1. Swing and a miss from Eddie McCabe, and the count levels. So Connor Ash at a 2-2 count with 2 away. In search of his 28th strikeout on the season. McCabe flipping the bat up and down on his right shoulder. Here comes the offering. Swinging a tapper right back to Ash on the mound. Fires over to first quickly. Inning over. 1, 2, 3 go the Firebirds on the top of the second as Ash works a perfect frame to put another 0 up on the board. Through an inning and a half, it's Orleans 0, Hyannis 0. For the Firebirds in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We'll go to the bottom of the second when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 5, 6, 7 coming to the plate for Hyannis in the bottom of the second as Northeastern first baseman Ian Fair digs in from the right side as the lefty Schuster fires home. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. So Ian Fair hitting in the 5 spot, playing first base for Hyannis tonight. Last night he was 1 for 2 with a hit. As Schuster's ready to come home with the next offering, it's a fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. For Ian Fair, he's had hits in back-to-back games. 1-1. Tapper on the right side, moving to his right, the second baseman Whitcomb fires to first, and it's in time. So Ian Fair retired on a 4-3 putout. That'll bring up Brooks Carlson, the Samford designated hitter. And Fair's been a productive bat in the Hyannis order, especially upon his return. You look back at since he's been reactivated, he had hits in his first 2 games. As Carlson watches one down, it's 1-0. But he's recorded hits in 4 of his first 6 games back for Hyannis, including 2 different multi-hit games, those both coming against Bourne. Breaking ball to Carlson. This one drops onto the outside part of the plate. It's 1-1. So 1 away in the bottom of the second, still 0-0 as Schuster fires home, swinging a fly ball lifted down the right field line, tailing foul over the bullpen and out of play. So Carlson gave that one a ride, just a little bit out in front, and the count will move to 1-2. Now Connor Ash has been nothing but a strikeout machine here on Cape Cod. That was more of what Schuster was in his school season. 1-2 to Carlson, ground ball right at the third baseman. McCabe takes a step back, now fires across, in time to retire Carlson. So 2 away in the bottom of the second. Brooks goes down on a 5-3 putout, and after back-to-back groundouts, it'll bring up switch-hitting Rowdy Jordan from the right side.
Well, after some harder contact in the first inning from Hunter Goodman specifically and the rest of the Hyannis bats, now 2 couple of soft ground balls in this inning. Schuster doing a nice job settling down, working down in the zone, getting the first 2 couple of outs quickly.
So now the hitter Rowdy Jordan digs in. First pitch, fastball jackknives him. It's 1-0. Rowdy didn't get the start last night. He was given a day off as he's been inserted into the lineup pretty consistently in his time with Hyannis. The next pitch comes in. It's a called strike. But back to Jared Schuster, who just finished his sophomore year with the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. You look at his first 3 outings. He had double-digit strikeouts all 3 times. 1-1. Weak wave and a miss from Rowdy at a breaking ball. It's 1-2. So in his first 3 starts of 2019, he struck out 11 versus Georgetown back on February the 17th. He struck out 11 at Elon on February the 25th, and then a season-high 12 versus Furman. Now the 1-2 misses down and the count evens. And that start versus Furman, no question, the best one he had all season. 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 12 strikeouts. As he's ready with the 2-2, weak wave and a miss again from Rowdy Jordan. That ends the inning. Second strikeout of the night for Jared Schuster. And through 2 innings, it's zeros up on the board for both sides. For Hyannis in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We'll go to the top of the third. It's Orleans 0, Hyannis 0 on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Orleans sends 8, 9, and 1 to the plate in the top of the third inning. Rob Emery, Shea Wickham, and Zach Kokoska do up against the right-hander Missouri Connor Ash, back for his third inning of work here from McKeon Park. The rain's starting to come down here in Hyannis. Again, on Cape Cod, an official game, 5 innings. We're in the top of the third currently in a scoreless ball game as Emery swings at the first pitch and sends a towering shot to right, sending back the right fielder Jordan on the back pedal toward the wall, and he makes the grab for out number 1. So Emery got a good piece of that one on the other part of the plate. Sent Jordan back a couple steps, but no problem to reel it in. That'll bring up Shea Wickham for his first plate appearance of the night. Shea picked up 1 base knock last night in 2 plate appearances. He'll dig in from the right side against Connor Ash. Already back on the hill. Both starters working with a pretty good pace to them to this point in the ball game. As the rain starting to come down a bit harder. Ash fires the first pitch, breaking ball, a called strike on the outside corner. Now, while the weather has, of course, been one of the continuing trends throughout the summer here on Cape Cod, it's come down time and time again, and as a result, have left a few games to cancellation as a breaking ball missed upstairs. Count evens 1-1.
Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of rain this summer. There's no question about that. Now, the forecast says there's projected thunderstorms at 7 and 8 p.m., around 50 to 60%. So we'll see.
Ash comes home with a 1-1. Starting to really downpour now. Swing and a miss from Wickham. He goes down 1-2. The fans starting to break out the umbrellas and file out. Really coming down here from McKeon Park. We'll see what the forecast has in store. But Wickham back into his stance with a 1-2. Ash from the windup. Fastball upstairs. Count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The fourth of 4 matchups between these two squads of 2019. Orleans leads the season series 2-1, and now it's really, really coming down. They're still playing, however. Wickham cuts and misses through a high fastball. He goes down, 2 down. So Ash goes up, climbs the ladder, and fans Wickham. Third strikeout of his outing tonight. Back to the top of the Orleans order for Kokoska.
Yeah, I mean, the rain is what's kind of engaging everybody right now. I mean, it's really, really pouring. There's no question. And it's not supposed to last for that long. Again, 50 to 60% for the next hour or so. But we'll see. Again, we'll see.
Squaring to bunt, Kokoska drops one down as it dribbles behind home plate foul. And it is really raining cats and dogs here now. Virtually everyone's starting to file out here from McKeon Park as the umbrellas have been broken out. Now the field's going to clear. So Hyannis running off the field. Orleans back to their dugout. And the umpires will converge, and Hyannis will go get the tarps and cover the field up for who knows how long. When we talked around 6 o'clock, just before first pitch, it was bright and sunny. It was beautiful here from McKeon Park, but not the case now, obviously, as the tarps are being broken out here. And Lyle, we'll see how long this delay lasts. As you just mentioned, about a 50 to 60% chance around 7 or 8 o'clock, just past 6:30 here on Cape Cod. And we'll see how long this delay lasts. They're going to try and get this game in at any and all costs with the season winding down and not many off days remaining for either side.
Yeah, getting 5 in is the absolute key. If they can find a way to get an extra, well, just under 3 innings of play in and let the game be called from there, that's all they'll need. But there has just been so much rain and rain and rain this summer. This has been one of the rainiest summers in the recent decade here on Cape Cod, and as a result, there's been a ton of canceled games. It's starting to lighten up over the last 10 days or so, maybe 2 weeks. But here it comes back again. And so far, this game's in a rain delay. We'll see for how long.
So the Harborhawks getting the tarps on the field as quickly as possible. They'll go back to the dugout during this delay. We'll get any word to you on if play will resume here tonight from McKeon Park, when and if we get it. And we're going to take a quick break here from McKeon Park in a scoreless ball game, top of the third on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcome back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We have a bit of an update for you here from McKeon Park in a scoreless ball game in the top of the third inning. There is some diamond dry being put down on the field right now, and it looks like they're going to try and restore order here from McKeon Park and get this game back underway. Again, Brendan Howe and Lyle Goldstein here with you, bringing you all the updates if and when we get them as this delay progresses. But Lyle, it looks like they're going to try and play some more baseball here tonight.
Which is really good news because, again, with all the rainouts and the limited off days remaining, they need to try to get in as many games as possible, even if it's just 5 innings. If they can find a way to get in 5 innings, I think everybody here will be happy tonight. And you see all the players out on the infield, kicking around diamond dry and infield dry, getting this field ready as if they're going to try and play this thing again. And hopefully the time interval is short enough where Connor Ash can get back on the mound and pitch, because he looked phenomenal before the rain delay started. I mean, you want to look at what Ash has done so far. He's thrown just under 3 total innings, so two and 2/3, already 3 strikeouts, hasn't given up a hit, and he's really had his fastball and breaking ball working to this point. And against an Orleans lineup that he struggled against once, second time around starting to look a bit different. So hopefully for his sake, he's getting warm with Hunter Goodman down the third base line as we speak, trying to keep loose, and looks like he has the intention to go back out there. So hopefully for his sake, he can keep pitching, and we'll see what he's got in store.
Well, the game last night was scoreless through 8 innings. No rain in that contest, but looks like we were headed for another pitcher's duel here tonight from McKeon Park as Jared Schuster, as you just mentioned, how Connor Ash was throwing the ball so well. On the flip side, the Wake Forest product was also going toe for toe with the Missouri right-hander.
Yeah, he was, and you want to look at what Schuster's done. He's thrown 2 innings to this point. He's only allowed 1 base runner, and it was that Jordan Westberg walk. As a result from that, he struck out 2. He's thrown the ball well. He's kept it down, induced a couple of nice ground ball outs, and the lefty out of Wake Forest has looked really, really solid as well. So again, we saw between Cole Pletka and Owen Schartz last night out at Eldridge Park. Tonight, Connor Ash and Jared Schuster looking to one-up him a bit, because both of them have looked really, really sharp early on.
So the entire Hyannis roster, as well as coaching staff, pitching in to try and get this field playable again. There are some puddles scattered around the third and first baselines, but the rest of the infield has been covered with diamond dry as the entire Hyannis roster out either with a rake, a bag of diamond dry, or using their cleats to help out. But it looks like this field will get playable again, but the biggest question mark is the rain. Will it come back? Because we looked at the forecast just a bit ago, and there is some rain in the forecast, about a 50% chance as we move on into the evening. But Connor Ash loosening up down the left field line, planning to play some more baseball tonight, just trying to keep limber. But again, Brendan Howe, Lyle Goldstein will bring you any more updates if and when we get them here from McKeon Park. Still in a delay, top of the third inning. We'll talk to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We have an update for you, and unfortunately, it's not a good one. This one has been called due to the unsubsiding rain, and it's been really coming down here at McKeon Park for the better part of about 30 to 45 minutes now. Brendan Howe, Lyle Goldstein here with you, providing you this update. This game was scoreless in the top of the third inning. Connor Ash was on the mound. Both starters were cruising, but ultimately the rain just too much to continue play here tonight.
Yeah, and again, it's really just is kind of too bad for Connor Ash. It's really too bad for Jared Schuster, two guys who were both throwing the ball so well. They both seemed to be cruising. It looked like we were going to be in for another pitcher's duel tonight between Hyannis and Orleans, but just not to be. Mother Nature wins once again. And this game's going to be made up at a later date, and of course, it's going to start from scratch because they couldn't get 5 innings in, they're just going to start from square one.
Now let's touch upon that for just a second, because you mentioned this game is going to have to start from scratch at a later date. But we're not quite sure when that's going to be, because there are limited off days left in this Cape Cod League season, which is set to end on July the 31st, the regular season that is. And then, of course, postseason play picking up in the days ensuing. But as of right now, Hyannis with just one scheduled off day left. That's July the 22nd. July the 25th was supposed to be an off day, but that's now a makeup date in Bourne. So Hyannis will travel to Bourne back-to-back nights, the 24th and 25th of July. Of course, Monday, a makeup game right here at McKeon Park against the Falmouth Commodores. And as far as Orleans' schedule goes, we don't know when these two teams are going to be able to meet.
Yeah, and you're probably right that it would likely be the 22nd. That's what gets so hard about these rain out off days, because different teams get rained out on different days and they get made up on different off days. The tough thing is finding the date that neither team has a makeup game to play, or any game in general. Fortunately for the 22nd, neither team is scheduled to play right now. So both Hyannis and Orleans could make up this game at that time here at McKeon Park, of course, barring any weather. But again, it is just going to be a long grind to the end of the season for really both teams. Hyannis, like you said, almost no off days left. Orleans more of the same. They've been playing nonstop for the last couple weeks without almost any off days. And this rain has really just taken its toll on Cape Cod this summer. So it's going to be started from square one at a different date, likely the 22nd of July. And we'll just see how things go from there. Tomorrow, of course, Hyannis set to come back to McKeon and play Chatham. And that's schedule-wise the next game on their slate.
Well, that is where we'll be when action resumes tomorrow here from McKeon Park. Of course, again, weather permitting, as you can see right now, currently still downpouring from McKeon Park. But this game is wiped away and put in the back pocket and will be made up at a later date. It was scoreless on the top of the third. All that is washed away. So Brendan Howe, Lyle Goldstein here with you tonight. Unfortunate news for us here from McKeon Park tonight when bringing you this ball game tonight, and Hyannis and Orleans just wiped away tonight. So we'll talk to you tomorrow night. The Chatham Angler set to come in for a 6 o'clock first pitch time here from McKeon Park. Once again, we apologize for any inconvenience. The rain tonight getting the last laugh. We'll talk to you tomorrow from McKeon Park.